What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of The Batman. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. My god, this movie left me speechless. I watched it at the press junket screening a few weeks ago, and as soon as the end credits rolled, I just sat there in the theater for several minutes, trying to process the magnitude of what I had just witnessed. The Batman gives me chills, just complete utter chills. It is a masterpiece, no ifs and buts about it. It's gripping, visceral, immersive, very well written, very well directed, and very well performed, with stunning cinematography and a sweeping score. This may well be the best DC movie ever made. I cannot stress enough how incredibly crafted this movie is. Ooh, and Robert Pattinson devours this role with absolute ferocity. Trust me, any doubt you may have previously had will immediately dissipate the moment he steps into the scene as Batman. It's as if everything that Robert ever did has led him to this one defining role, and he absolutely crushes it. Written and directed by Matt Reeves, in The Batman, 2 years of stalking the street as the Batman striking fear into the hearts of criminals has led Bruce Wayne deep into the shadows of Gotham City. With only a few trusted allies, Alfred Pennyworth and Lieutenant James Gordon, among the city's corrupt network of officials and high-profile figures, the lone vigilante has established himself as the sole embodiment of vengeance amongst his fellow citizens. When a killer targets Gotham's elite with a series of sadistic machinations, a trail of cryptic clues sends the world's greatest detective on an investigation into the underworld, where he encounters such characters as Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, Carmine Falcone, and Edward Nashton, aka the Riddler. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, Batman must forge new relationship, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued Gotham City. Starring Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, Andy Serkis, Jeffrey Wright, Colin Farrell, John Turturro, and Paul Dano. By the way, thanks to Warner Brothers and the lovely PR agency I work with, I recently had the opportunity to interview two of the stars of this new film, Paul Dano and Jeffrey Wright, at the Batman virtual press junket. So come watch my entire video interview with Paul and Jeffrey right here only on Rama Screen YouTube channel. Well, it's no secret that Batman is a detective, not officially, but in the world of superheroes, Batman is the one who investigates and puts two and two together. He's not all just brute action all day every day, although that is part of what makes him badass. But what I'm getting at is Matt Reeves here has basically come up with the most quintessential character-driven Batman detective story. So much so that if you remove the cowl, the cape, the gadgets, and the car, this really feels like it could have been The Wire, Law and Order, or True Detective, the Gotham edition. So as every technical element works to make this the most cinematic movie watching experience, the script aims to keep the wheels in our brains constantly turning. Sure, the runtime is pretty long, I give you that, but not once did I feel bored out of my mind. And I love how things intensify and escalate with every revelation that surfaces. It all feels like an epic crime saga that's sharp and clever and cunning. Okay, Paul Dano's version of the Riddler is scary as hell. Ruthless to the bone, taunting you, taunting you, taunting you. He always thinks 2-3 steps ahead, and he knows the answers. He has the bigger picture from the start, and Paul gives a tour de force, towering performance. The way he delivers his lines, his inflections, his mannerisms, he pretty much holds the audiences captive. Zoe Kravitz is intoxicating as Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman. Not only is she sultry, seductive, flexible, and elegant, Zoe also manages to go there emotionally because the script does a hell of a job of tying Catwoman's struggle into the overarching mystery. Colin Farrell is another one that will pleasantly surprise you, because at first glance you might assume that his performance could not possibly shine through those thick prosthetics, but you would be wrong because it totally does. So many cool shots in this movie. Too many to mention really, but man, I tell you, the new Batmobile's grand entrance reverberates across the room. And that chase sequence is fast, explosive, and satisfying. The car looks like straight out of a Steve McQueen movie, which is awesome. I also love the film's combination of colors yellow, red, and black that perfectly captures the troubled, stressed out city that is Gotham. And composer Michael Giacchino's bold, operatic music is hugely effective in maintaining the vengeful mood throughout the film. Now, I don't want to give too much away in terms of the story, but just want to double down on what I implied earlier. All of us Batman fans know that Gotham is rotten from the head down. And keep in mind that even though Batman here has been doing his thing for quite some time, Gotham is still iffy or conflicted on whether or not to fully embrace him as a symbol. And so what the script marvelously does is unravel how deep that corruption goes and explores the nuances and the ramifications of Batman's brand of justice. It's a slow and steady, very measured puzzle game that makes you think just as much as it wows you visually. And Matt Reeves as the master conductor successfully connects all of the pieces so that one profoundly impacts the other and vice versa. I kid you not, guys, this is an absolutely well-told story. So, if the Batman ends up just as a standalone, not crossing over into other DC properties, I am okay with that because this movie will be remembered as a monumental cinematic achievement for many years to come.